This is the story of a galaxy that never was. In the official timeline, Padmé Amidala died of a broken heart on Polis Massa, leaving Luke and Leia to be raised apart, while Anakin Skywalker became a slave to the dark side forever. But imagine she found the strength to survive. Imagine the medical droids worldwide, and the mother of the Skywalker twins lived to raise them. This single change would not just alter the lives of a few characters, but would completely rewrite the history of the Empire, the Rebellion, and the ultimate fate of Darth Vader. This is what would happen if Padmé Amidala lived. Before we continue, I want to say a huge thanks to everyone who left comments on the last video. This video wouldn't exist without you, because we chose this topic directly from your suggestions. If you have any wild what-if ideas for future Star Wars videos, please write them down below. The most liked comments will be selected for our next script. If you enjoy this deep look at the lore, please like and subscribe to support the channel. The medical droids on the asteroid base of Polis Massa are confused. Physically, Padmé is healthy, but her life signs are fading. In our timeline, she lets go. But here, as Obi-Wan Kenobi pleads with her to hold on, she looks at the two children she just brought into the world. The maternal instinct overpowers the grief of Anakin's betrayal. She realizes that dying now would leave her children alone in a galaxy ruled by the very monster her husband helped create. She forces herself to take a breath, and then another. The droids report her heartbeat stabilizing. She survives the night, weak and heartbroken, but alive. Obi-Wan and Yoda now face a completely different reality, where they don't just have two orphans to hide, but a former queen and senator who knows the Emperor's darkest secrets. Survival presents an immediate danger. Palpatine has already told Vader that he killed Padmé in his anger. If the Emperor discovers she is alive, he will hunt her down to finish the job, or use her to control Vader even more. Bail Organa proposes a desperate plan to stage her death anyway. The elaborate funeral on Naboo proceeds exactly as it did in the movies, with thousands of mourners weeping for their beloved senator. But the body in the casket is a chemically altered decoy, or a clone stand-in. The galaxy believes Padmé Amidala is dead. In reality, she is already on a transport ship, cloaked in silence, and heading for the only safe harbor left. The Emperor smiles in his palace and believes his victory is absolute, never suspecting that the one political rival he truly feared has just slipped through his fingers. In the original timeline, the twins were separated to protect them. Luke went to Tatooine, while Leia went to Alderaan. But with Padmé alive, she refuses to give up either child. She accepts Bail Organa's offer of sanctuary on Alderaan on one condition: she raises them herself. Obi-Wan Kenobi sees that his duty is now to protect the mother as well as the children, so he abandons his plan to live as a hermit on Tatooine. Instead, he joins the Alderaanian royal court under an alias while acting as a tutor and guardian. The dynamic on Alderaan shifts dramatically. Padmé lives in a secluded estate in the mountains, where she is officially listed as a distant cousin of the royal house. Luke and Leia grow up together, knowing their mother's love, but kept in the dark about their father's true identity. Padmé was never one to sit idle while democracy died. Even from hiding, she becomes the invisible architect of the Rebel Alliance. While Mon Mothma and Bail Organa handle the public face of political resistance in the Imperial Senate, Padmé provides strategic brilliance from the shadows. She uses her intimate knowledge of the Senate's bureaucracy and Palpatine's political methods to undermine Imperial operations. She writes the speeches Bail delivers and coordinates the funding for early rebel cells. The rebellion, which took nearly 20 years to organize in the original timeline, becomes a serious threat within 5. She channels her grief into action, so that when her children come of age, they will have an army ready to fight behind them. The ghost of Padmé Amidala haunts the Empire's machinery and sabotages it from the inside, without them ever knowing her name. Meanwhile, Darth Vader exists in a state of constant and agonizing torture. Believing he murdered his wife and unborn child, his self-hatred is absolute. He throws himself into the Emperor's service with zero hesitation and hunts Jedi with a reckless abandon that terrifies even his own officers. But there is a difference here. In the original timeline, Vader had nothing. In this version, he is haunted by specific memories he can't shake. The lie Palpatine told him about killing her in his anger is the only thing keeping him loyal. He serves the dark side not out of ambition, but because he believes he deserves nothing else. He becomes a blunt instrument of destruction, unaware that the very source of his pain is alive and fighting back. His power grows alongside his instability, which Palpatine watches with a wary eye. By the time Luke and Leia are 10 years old, their connection to the Force is undeniable. They don't just have raw potential, they have training. Obi-Wan Kenobi has been teaching them discipline and control since they could walk. Unlike the farm boy Luke of the original movies, this version is educated, focused, and skilled. Leia shares her mother's sharp diplomatic wit and is also a formidable warrior. Padmé watches their training with mixed emotions. She sees Anakin in every move they make. Luke has his piloting skills and intensity, while Leia has his fire and stubbornness. She insists they learn not just how to fight, but why they fight, instilling in them the democratic values the Republic lost. These are not just Jedi Padawans, but political revolutionaries, trained by a queen and a Jedi master. As the Rebel network grows, it inevitably attracts other survivors. Ahsoka Tano operates under the codename Fulcrum and eventually makes contact with Bail Organa. When she arrives on Alderaan and discovers Padmé is alive, the reunion is emotional and pivotal. Ahsoka brings vital intel on the Empire's military movements, while Padmé offers her a true home base. With Ahsoka joining Obi-Wan, the twins now have two mentors representing the best of the old Jedi Order. Ahsoka forms a special bond with Leia, seeing the spirit of Anakin in her without the fear that Obi-Wan sometimes carries. This trio of Padmé, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka creates a leadership core far stronger than anything the rebellion originally had. They begin to plan not just for survival, but for a proactive strike against the Emperor. Secrets this large cannot be kept forever. 10 years into the Empire's reign, a supply run goes wrong. A captured rebel pilot breaks under interrogation by an Imperial Inquisitor. He babbles about a lady in the mountains on Alderaan who commands the respect of Jedi. The Inquisitorius passes this information up the chain, as they always hunt for hidden Force users. They suspect a surviving Jedi Master is training younglings. The report eventually reaches the desk of Darth Vader. He assumes it is Obi-Wan Kenobi, the man he hates most in the galaxy. Vader decides to handle this personally. He doesn't tell the Emperor because he wants the satisfaction of killing Kenobi himself. He sets a course for Alderaan with his personal fleet, unknowingly flying toward the shock of his life. Vader's arrival sends the Alderaan safehouse into chaos. Bail Organa's security forces try to stall him, but the Sith Lord cuts through them like smoke. Obi-Wan and Ahsoka step forward to defend the children and ignite their lightsabers in the snowy courtyard of the estate. The battle is ferocious, with two masters against the Chosen One. But Vader is fueled by a decade of unbridled rage. He pushes them back with overwhelming power. He senses the children nearby, who feel Force-sensitive, strong, and familiar. He blasts the doors to the inner sanctum open, expecting to find cowering younglings. Instead, he finds a woman standing firm, blaster in hand, shielding two 10-year-old children. He freezes. The breathing apparatus is the only sound in the room. Through the red lenses of his mask, he sees the impossible. It is Padmé. The silence stretches for an eternity. Vader's world fractures. For 10 years, his entire existence was built on the foundation that his anger killed her. Seeing her alive proves that Palpatine lied about everything. The Emperor didn't save him, but enslaved him with a fabrication. Padmé sees the hesitation in the monster before her and realizes who it is. She steps forward, not in fear, but in pity. She calls him Anakin. The name hits him harder than any lightsaber strike. The dark side feeds on pain and anger, but this shock disrupts his connection to it. Confusion replaces the rage. He looks at the children, his children. The realization that he has a family and isn't alone cracks the Sith persona he constructed. But before he can speak, Palpatine's hologram flickers to life on his ship's comms, demanding a status report.
Palpatine senses the massive disturbance in the Force and realizes his deception has failed. He doesn't wait for Vader to return. He orders the Star Destroyer in orbit to glass the mountain range, wiping out Vader, the Jedi, and the political threat of Padmé all at once. The sky turns green with turbo laser fire. Vader snaps out of his trance and realizes his master has betrayed him for the final time. He uses the Force, not to kill the Jedi, but to hold back the collapsing ceiling and buy time for his family to escape. It is a moment of pure instinct. He shouts for them to run. For the first time since Mustafar, Anakin Skywalker is making the choices. He isn't redeemed yet, as he has too much blood on his hands, but he is no longer the Emperor's pawn. They escape on a ship very much like the Millennium Falcon, barely outrunning the bombardment. The atmosphere on the ship is suffocating. You have Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, Padmé, and two confused children staring at the armored giant in the hold. Vader removes his helmet and reveals the scarred face of Anakin Skywalker. The reunion is not happy, but painful. Padmé is horrified by what he has become, but she sees the conflict within him. Vader reveals the Emperor's secret projects, including the construction of the Death Star, years ahead of schedule. He knows the security codes. He knows the secret hyperspace lanes. The rebellion suddenly gains the ultimate asset in the Supreme Commander of the Imperial Fleet. They don't trust him, but they need him. They set course not for a hideout, but for Coruscant. With Vader's codes, the small rebel fleet bypasses the planetary shields of Coruscant. This isn't a war of attrition, but an assassination mission. Vader leads Obi-Wan and Ahsoka into the Imperial Palace. It is a poetic reversal of Revenge of the Sith. Instead of marching into the Jedi Temple to slaughter younglings, Anakin marches into the Sith Temple to save his children. Palpatine is waiting and unleashes the full power of the dark side. The duel that follows is the greatest in galactic history, with Sidious fighting against his three most powerful failures. Vader absorbs the lightning that was meant for Ahsoka, causing his suit to short-circuit and his life support to fail. But he doesn't stop. Driven by the need to protect the family he thought he lost, he grapples the Emperor and drags him toward the reactor shaft of the palace. The Emperor falls and his dark energy explodes in the depths of the city. Anakin collapses with shallow and wheezing breathing without the suit's support. Padmé rushes to his side. In this timeline, he doesn't die looking at Luke alone. He dies looking at Padmé, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka, the three people he loved and betrayed. He apologizes, not expecting forgiveness, but simply stating the truth. He tells Padmé she was right, that there was still good in him. As he passes into the Force, the galaxy is left in a state of shock. The Empire is headless. The truth of Palpatine's manipulation comes out. Anakin Skywalker is remembered not as a hero, but as a cautionary tale about a man who burned the galaxy down to save his wife, and ultimately died to save her again. The aftermath is messy. The Empire doesn't vanish overnight, but without Palpatine or Vader, the Moffs turn on each other. The rebellion, led by Padmé Amidala, restores the Republic a decade earlier than in our timeline. She becomes the first Chancellor of the New Republic and guides the galaxy back to democracy with wisdom earned through tragedy. Luke and Leia grow up, not as soldiers, but as leaders. Luke rebuilds the Jedi Order, but with a new philosophy taught by his mother, that attachment and love are not weaknesses, but strengths. They are the guardians of a new peace, built on the survival of one woman who refused to let her heart stop beating. The galaxy is healed, not by a war, but by a mother's will to live. The story of Star Wars has always been about family, but this version highlights just how much one life can change the destiny of billions. Padmé Amidala was more than just a plot device for Anakin's fall. She was a force of nature who could have saved the galaxy herself if given the chance. It turns out the true hope of the galaxy wasn't just the children, but the woman who fought to keep them safe. If you enjoyed this journey into the multiverse, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next alternate history breakdown. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.